set of races remaining on the 2025 slate, we come to St. Louis to ask the age-old question, okay, I've got my donut, where's Dale Jr.? Hi, hello, and good evening, race fans. Welcome to Madison, Illinois for tonight's coverage of Race 34 of the NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series season, the Budweiser Propane 400. Live from the Gateway International Raceway, once again, welcome everybody to tonight's live intercast on the North American Sim Racing Network. My name is Trey Wright, and 3 races are all that's left in the season as we trek to Gateway for the 3rd time in series history for 80 laps outside of the Gateway to the west. It's as close can be in the points battle as it has been all chase long, and tonight we could see the lead change for the first time in over 2 months. Campbell Marsh holds on to the points lead by 114 points over Corey Case entering tonight, but Brennan Wilmington's number 62 machine starts on the pole position for the 2nd time in the last 4 races, while Marsh starts midway through the field in 26th and Case starting in 22nd. That gap alone would be enough to give Wilmington the lead in the championship if the trio were to finish where they started, and at a flat track like Gateway that races almost identically to the Milwaukee Mile, the track that Brandon Wilmington won the pole and the race of 2 weeks ago. That very well could be the case here tonight at Gateway. But it's not just a 3-horse race in the chase with 3 races to go, as all 12 cars still mathematically have a shot at the title. Riley Sampson and Matthew Huber are back in the fight after clawing their way out of some poor finishes early on in the chase, and Angel Gutierrez and Braden Perez sit as the last 2 drivers within a full race's worth of points behind the 31 car. Bradley Ream fell all the way down to 8th after a horrible finish at the Ricky Raceway 1 week ago. He joins Caleb Rose, Esteban Lasayer, Carson Miller, and Alex Lozano as the 5 drivers a race or two's worth of points back. For Lozano, tonight could mathematically spell the end of his title aspirations with a poor finish, and he starts 33rd this evening, 397 points behind Campbell Marsh. Built in 1997, Gateway is essentially the child of the Milwaukee Mile and the Darlington Raceway, and the flat egg-shaped track definitely takes after the former, with track position being the primary name in the game here tonight like it was at Milwaukee, which could spell chaos for the chase drivers given where everyone is starting this evening. The big ticket strategy for tonight: stay in your lane, stay out of trouble, and set yourself up for the penultimate race of the season next week at the Trenton Fairgrounds. A packed house is on hand for tonight's race at Gateway, and it's high time we give the fans what they want: 400 miles of Saturday night action. Let's go down trackside and get the most famous words in motorsports to fire the engines for the Budweiser Propane 400.
Drivers, start your engines.
The engines roar to life here on the banks of the Mississippi as we get ready to rock and roll here for tonight's race in Gateway. Brennan Wilmington with his 2nd pole position of the chase for the Cup, looking to win his 2nd race in the chase for the Cup, and that driver, the number 62 Lumen Toyota. Next to him is the 16 of Danny Fallington, your Denver Roval winner from a couple of weeks ago in the 16. They round out row number 1. The moving chicane from last week's race at Ricky. The 58 of Logan Alexander looks to get a little bit of a better result from that race. He starts to the outside of the pole sitter from 1 week ago, the 79 of Bruno Diacomo. They round out row number 2, and back in row 3, your Indianapolis winner, the 86 of Ryan Durrani, starts to the outside, the 38 of Matt Wolf. Round out the starting 3 rows. Couple of chase drivers in the back, starting shotgun on the grid, the 24 of Riley Sampson. Also towards the back, the 23 machine of Matthew Hubert and the 2 of Bradley Ream, as well as the Colonel of Caleb Rose and the 32 and the 11 of Alex Lozano. The field rolled through turns 3 and 4. Stages are going to conclude after laps 20 and 45 here tonight. The pit window opening up 5 laps after, rather right at the end of stage number 2. Pace truck is down the pit lane. We get ready to set off for the final set of races in 2025. Brennan Wilmington is the control car here on this initial start. He'll lead the field through the Reese's restart zone. Green flag is out and away. 3 races are left here in 2025. Couldn't ask for a better start on the inside lane for the pole sitter, and Brennan Wilmington with 10 bonus points in his bank will lead lap number 1 here this evening. Logan Alexander, a better start than he had last week, up to second as that inside lane beginning to move north here. There's a look at Roberto Crown Jr., who won for GT Le Mans yesterday at Bridgehampton, looking to win in back-to-back days like John Andrews did. Up the racetrack goes Danny Fallington, 3 wide back in here as Owen Miles looks to go north in that 05 car. Slipping in the back, however, Campbell Marsh, the points leader, started this race on the outside lane in 26 and has quickly slipped back to outside of the top 30 to start things off here. 28th that last time by, and he is going to go on the outside. He's into the outside wall hard. And the championship leader on lap number 3 already in some trouble. He is going to hemorrhage a lot more spots as he is stuck on that outside line in that number 31 machine. That is not where you want to be right on the start. Right now, the battle for the championship lead, Brennan Wilmington's favor as Corey Case trying to make his way up in here. We nearly got 3 wide as Angel Gutierrez will move towards the front in the 28 machine. Marsh still stuck on the outside lane, and Corey Case is also stuck on the outside. Again, Riley Sampson and Matthew Huber starting in the final 2 rows. Right now, the closest championship competitor, the 62, is that number 28 machine of Angel Gutierrez, who we're talking about going towards the front. Gutierrez, that last time by, just outside of the top 15. So a lot of really good pad there for Wilmington, that even if he doesn't win this race here tonight, which I know he would love to, he's still going to have a pretty good shot, potentially. Again, this championship lead going in the penultimate race of the season in Trenton. But right now, top 3 beginning to pull away from the rest of the pack. And it has not been a good season for Matt Wolff, who had couple of wins last year in the Swan Song season for, I'm trying to remember, he was in the 42 Delta car. I'm trying to remember who that was. It has been such a year of transition for a lot of these drivers, and Logan Alexander, your Nashville winner, trying to get things done. He currently runs in second. It was Full Frontal Motorsports that Matt Wolff was able to get a handful of wins last year, including last year's race at the Trenton Fairgrounds Raceway. Roberto Crown Jr. doing the exact same thing he did yesterday and staying off a little bit from the top drivers who right now run nose to tail. The Pied Piper of Gateway at the moment, Wilmington in that 62 machine, the top 3 remain pretty much ramrod straight. Cole Sampson looking for his 2nd win of the season, as is Daniel Bouchard. Owen Miles right now rounding out the top 7. You got Charlie Davenport, Rogel Dorn, and a battle for 10th back in here is Alex Sanvitale trying to get his 2nd win of the season for your Kansas winner. A lot of drivers with wins up inside here. In fact, the only drivers that don't have any wins this season inside the top 10, Matt Wolff, Roberto Crown Jr., Owen Miles, and Charlie Davenport. We've got one car stalled in the pit lane. That's Dylan Matthews in the number 75 machine. An issue with the Hers Family Guy Toyota Camry and your GT Daytona winner from yesterday. Looks like she's going to go at least 1 lap down. Something amiss on the 75. It was an oil leak on that Otter Island Motorsports number 75 machine. And looks like her good luck from yesterday in the spin and win, resulting in some bad luck here this evening in Gateway as Matt Wolff overdrove the corner in turns 1 and 2. And we'll make it a 2-horse race for the race lead as of right now, as he overdrove the 11 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2. Looking pretty solid through the 9 degrees here in turns 3 and 4, and pretty much the entire field running single file, and a really good start for Alex Lozano, who's made his way through the field nice and orderly. He is already up to 17th after starting the race in the 33rd position. So already plus 16 on the grid for the FedEx number 11. He continues to trek in the right direction. Same thing cannot be said for Campbell Marsh. who right now running 41st on the pylon, and that would put him well behind Brennan Wilmington. The only saving grace for Marsh is that he is not behind Dylan Matthews, currently 1 lap down after that mechanical issue, and a bad finish tonight could potentially even knock Carson Miller out of championship contention. But I think he should be fine. We got all of these chase drivers back in here. Bradley Ream trying to move underneath of the 24. We got one car nearly into the wall. That was Thomas Troxel, who went flipping here 1 year ago. And he has not had a good start to the race here for that 00 machine. Miller being very aggressive. He's going to make some contact with Esteban Lasser. This battle for last place right here will go in favor of Lasser. Now Braden Perez will slip back in the tail end of the lead pack here. Toby Murphy in some trouble, and Carson Miller being very aggressive in that 8 machine, and he knows that his championship window is slipping, and that's going to help Campbell Marsh here just a little bit. He'll gain about maybe 25 points on Brennan Wilmington, but that's a drop in the bucket right now. But again, you need any sort of points that you can get here with Wilmington, who has led all 12 laps so far tonight. Very well could get 15 bonus points here. He got 5 bonus points for winning the pole, 5 bonus points for leading a lap. He could lead the most laps here tonight, but Logan Alexander with a run to the inside of the 62. Not going to take it. He might take it here going into turns 1 and 2. Peek into the inside, and he will stay planted right behind that Lumen machine. Here comes Roberto Crown Jr. underneath of Matt Wolf as Wolf starting to slip back in that number 38 machine. We got battles all over the place, including a battle for the race lead, but 58 machine not able to get around the 62 just yet, but Crown Jr. already up a couple of spots after starting in 7th. He is up to 3rd. Way up the racetrack went Cole Sampson. Battle for the top 5 spot right now between that 5 and that 07. Charlie Davenport, he's going to make it 3 wide through the apex of 1 and 2. That's going to force Sampson up the track, and he just is able to keep that 5 machine off of the outside wall. Going to 5th is Davenport. You've got the 07 underneath of him. Not a great showing last week in his home track for Daniel Bouchard, but he's looking for a nice run here tonight in the 07. Same thing for his fellow Canadian from last week, Keegan Thompson, currently just outside of the top 15, running in 17th as Alex Lozano continues to trend in a positive direction. Davenport will now secede for the 07, but here we are for the race lead, approaching the end of stage number 1. And Wilmington is able to win this stage here again. Stage winners from Chasers will result in not only 10 bonus points, but also a singular chase point. So that'd be 11 additional bonus points for Brennan Wilmington if he's able to capture the stage win here in the next 4 laps. Crown Jr. might give him a run for his money. I don't think Logan Alexander might have the power underneath of him to pass that 62, but Wilmington has been so good on these flat ovals this season. Was not able to get a win until the Harley-Davidson American 400 from 2 weeks ago. And ever since that win has lit a fire under the rear end of this 62 team, Pacific Racing, in their 5th season of operation here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. Have always been consistent, but have never been able to win a championship. Could they do here? Could they do so here this season? In season number 5 of their existence, Braden Perez right now way off pace at the tail end of the field, and Caleb Rose has been trending a little bit in the right direction, up to 18th for the 32 car. They're starting very deep in the field in 35th, so all the drivers that start on the inside having a nice go here in tonight's race. Marsh right now dropping back to 34th, -8 on the pylon from where he started with a lap and a half to go in stage number 1. Alexander just trying to get on the back end, trying to get a ledge to the inside of Wilmington. He's going to do the opposite. Will go high up the racetrack. Matt Wolf looking to get some stage points in this best of the rest battle. 4 cars breaking away from the rest of the field as we got the 1 lap to go here in stage number 1, and Brennan Wilmington looking to go wire to wire in the opening stage. Oh, wait. Loose out of the corner was Carson Miller. Corey Case has also slipped back in the 63. It's Brennan Wilmington through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in the opening stage. One last look for Alexander. Doesn't look like he'll get to the inside of Wilmington, and coming off for the corner, stage number 1 will go to the Longview, Washington native as Brennan Wilmington. Looking to make a Tony Stewart in 2011-esque hard charge at this championship here. So you see the top 10 results on your screen for the opening stage of tonight's 400-miler here, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. Nathan Stapleton got the final stage point. That number 97 machine, your Armory Digital winner, and now the battle is on here for the race lead and potentially for a podium position. Matt Wolf trying to go to the inside of Crown Jr. Alexander, who again couldn't get more of a worse start like he did at the Ricky Raceway, had a flat tire coming to the green. But since he took the green flag with the field, we did not get a restart of the race. And he was pretty much just off pace for the entire evening after that. He's looking for a little bit of redemption. He's got to run to the inside of Wilmington. He got to run off of the corner, and Willie poked to the inside of that Lumen Camry. Not able to do so just yet, but turns 3 and 4 have been the strong end of the speedway for Alexander, but 1 and 2 have been strong for Wilmington. Wasn't that strong that time, and could the 58 make a charge at this race lead down the south side of the speedway? Wilmington leaving a lot of bottom open, and here comes Alexander. Not able to get the run that time as his brought all 4 cars back into the dance, and here comes Alexander to the inside of the race leader. Again, this is Wilmington's strong area of the speedway, but a big shove to the inside from Logan. It's the Logan and Brennan show down the back straightaway here on lap number 24. Here comes Alexander's best part of the speedway, but Wilmington braking late. They're door-to-door as the battle for third will heat up. Wilmington on the outside will retain the race lead. Can he hold on to it? And Alexander will abide his time and will stick behind the 62 as Wolf will go underneath of Crown Jr. And that'll bring Daniel Bouchard back into the fray. So we nearly got our first lead change of the night, but has been Wilmington all 24 laps led. Alexander right on the back end of the 62, and he nearly bumper grabbed him in 4. 25 for 25 is Wilmington, but how long can he hold on? That Strawberry Lemonade Celsius number 58 Ford starting to come to life here. And we've got a diverse amount of manufacturers at the front end of this field. Got a Camry leading the way, a Ford right behind him, a Ford Fusion right behind him, a Dodge Charger in third, and a Chevy Monte SS right now rocking P4. A lot of diverse manufacturers up inside the grid, and it looks like Crown Jr. will lose touch from the top 3. It's Matt Wolf. He'll go to the inside of Alexander. 38 and the 58 going door to door, and Wolf will take second away from Alexander as he will begin to make his way up towards the race lead. Been a quiet start to the race here tonight. In the opening 27 laps of tonight's contest, only one incident so far, and it was an oil leak from Dylan Matthews, but the big story is Campbell Marsh hit the wall in turn 3, rather on lap number 3 in turn 2, and he has not been able to recover so far from that. We could have a lot of drivers trending towards the tail end of the field. that might be mathematically eliminated the way the things are going right now, as Esteban Lasser came into tonight 228 off of the race lead of the championship lead of Campbell Marsh. We could see the pendulum swing in the opposite direction as Wilmington under fire from Wolf. Wolf now with a run, and here comes Alexander. Wilmington just able to hold on to the lead as Wolf trying to utilize the inside. Remember, 1 and 2 is Wilmington's strong point on the track, and here comes Crown Jr., and he has brought company with him. Everybody rubber banding back together is now making a 5-car battle for the race lead. Everybody on top of one another, and it has become quite the gander here at the Gateway International Raceway. But Wilmington continues his dominating stretch, his 29th lap led of the race. And Alexander looking for the crossover underneath of Wolf. Not going to get it this time, trying to outbrake the 38 SRI car. And it's been lead change after lead change towards the top end of the field for every position besides first. Wilmington continue to just roll through the corners here at Gateway. Will lead his 30th lap of the night. If he's able to lead 11 more, that'll lock up the 5-lap lead bonus point. Or the most laps led bonus point for 5 points, I should say. Alexander swinging underneath of the 38, and Wolf will concede. And how about Daniel Bouchard? How about Owen Miles as well? We got both Dracoan racing cars inside the top 5. Owen Miles trying to snap a triple-digit winless streak dating all the way back to Indianapolis in 2021. We thought he was going to have a shot at it 1 week ago at Ricky. Could tonight be the night that Miles finally shellacks that long losing streak dating back over 4 years at this point, and now everybody on these older tires starting to lose a little bit of grip, and we're getting real racy towards the front end of this field as we close in on the halfway point. Again, only one chase driver inside of the top 9 right now, as Angel Gutierrez has found his way inside the top 10 in the 28 machine. But dominance has been the name of the game for Wilmington so far tonight. He dominated at Milwaukee. There were a handful of other races where he was in contention for some of those wins earlier on this season. Again, you gotta go back to Bridgehampton, where Brennan Wilmington won both stages. The Barstool Sports Long Island Grand Prix. Of course, he was able to, and he was on his way to potentially winning at Greenville Spartanburg before getting taken out in a wreck midway through the race. But he dominated at Milwaukee 2 weeks ago, and here he is tonight. Equally dominant, but we've still got a long way to go in this one. We do have a set of pit stops coming up here in about the next 10 to 15 laps. And something that has been really off for Brandon Wilmington all season long has been pitting, especially under green. We saw him get shuffled towards the rear end of the field at Ricky last week. Same thing at Kansas, where he was in position for a nice top 5 run, and could tonight be another evening where the pit crew fails him. And conversely, we have seen the opposite from Campbell Marsh, where his pit crew has been spectacular so far this season. So again, nothing is set in stone yet. This race isn't only 35 laps long. We've still got a long way to go in this one. 45 to go as Wilmington crosses past the start-finish line here at Gateway. Caution-free so far tonight. Right now, we're approaching quite a few hundred miles caution-free as the race at Ricky, our final super speedway race of the season, went caution-free. Got a nice flyby of the field, seeing where a couple of other chase drivers are, but I think Caleb Rose is the third chase driver in line. You got Wilmington. You got Gutierrez, and you got to go all the way back. Actually, no, Alex Lozano, I forgot how he is gone pretty well high up on the grid. He was shielded by a couple of cars there. Whoa, really loose was Ryan Durrani, and what a save out of the Las Vegas. He was wrecking loose off of turns 1 and 2, and he was somehow able to save that Amazon Prime number 86 car. Again, that was right in front of Caleb Rose. These guys battling just outside of the top 20. Rose trying to go in the right direction. Same thing as the boss man of Brennan Wilmington. But right now has opened himself up to his largest lead of the evening. About a second lead over Matt Wolff. I think Alexander's car is starting to fall off as Bouchard trying to move to the inside of that 58. He'll think better of it. Coming around towards the midway point in the race here this evening is Wilmington. It's a couple of laps away from locking up the most laps led bonus, but he wants to go wire to wire here tonight. To get his second win of the season would be the first time in his career that he has gotten multiple wins in a season. Again, to go back to Milwaukee, where he had to knock off, I think it was something like 120 something race winless streak. But again, these next two races, these next two tracks have not been kind to Mr. Wilmington. Go to the Trenton Fairgrounds Raceway. It's wrecked out there a handful of times. When you go to New Jersey, that's always a wild card, especially on the pit stops. The season has really trended towards parity, aside from the chase for the championship, but that could change here. And right now it's looking that it will change tonight, with the struggles from the 31 of Campbell Marsh and the sheer domination out of Brennan Wilmington. You can officially cue the Bon Jovi as we're halfway home through the Budweiser Propane 400. It's Brennan Wilmington leading the way, and this time by he will officially lock up the most laps led bonus. So that will be 15 bonus points, not including the chase points. So that is 26 bonus points total for Brennan Wilmington. And he is looking like the class of the field tonight. We're officially halfway home through tonight's race at Gateway. We'll wait until the round of pit stops will complete to see where everybody shakes out for our snap-on race break this evening. Matt Wolff is back in the conversation. 0.4 of a second off of the back end of the 62. See what it is this time by if he closes any more in. Well, he's going to close in a lot based on the optics right here. He's right on the back end of Wilmington. You got to think, could Brennan try to be saving something for these pit stops? And we've got Campbell Marsh moving up a little bit there in the 31 machine. And here comes Matt Wolff underneath of Wilmington. We got our first lead change of the night as Matt Wolff will go to the race lead for American Motorsports, looking for their second win of the season as an organization. And now Wilmington stuck on the outside lane. He's going to lose second. He might lose third as Daniel Bouchard. Oh, what a save there out of the Ottawan. Like we saw with Durrani, an incredible save out of Daniel Bouchard. And stick taps to the Canadian for being able to hold on to that loose Papa Murphy's Dodge Charger and saving Brennan Wilmington's bacon. I think he saw his potential run at the championship flash under his visor right there. And Wilmington able to thunder it back down to the inside, but Matt Wolff will lead a handful of laps. So the pit cycle will officially open up here. This time by, do we have any takers? None from the race leaders. Miles underneath of Bouchard trying to make his way up to 4th. Matt Wolf leads in car number 38. No takers down the pit lane this time by. These guys might try and open it up a little bit later, but yeah, that was the final lap in stage number 2. Just caught it. So Matt Wolf will win stage 2. Brennan Wilmington will gain an additional 8 bonus points. So what a huge points payday this is looking like for Brennan Wilmington so far. Right now, 34 bonus points so far for Wilmington. What a missed opportunity this would be. And now we got one car blowing up. It's Rogel Dorn, who grenades down the back straightaway. And he will pull that 27 machine into the pit area, and an early engine expiration for Rogel Dorn, your Vancouver winner from earlier in the season. And that'll officially be the first retiree from the race, and a mechanical failure for Dorn. He was running in 7th. This entry to pit lane might be a little bit tricky. I'm not sure if Dorn is laying down some oil right at the entrance of the pits. We'll see shortly what the official mechanical failure will be for Dorn. If I'm Mitchell Collins, as now I believe Brennan Wilmington has come down the pit lane. He has slipped back, and he is a very, very lonely car down the pit area for Wilmington. It was a header for Rogel Dorn, but this is a bold strategy on the undercut. Wilmington, the pole sitter. I'm not sure how much this is going to work out for him, but he will come down the pit lane from about 4th. Esteban Lacer will also come down the pit lane. Wolf will stay out an extra lap, and here we go. It's feed in time on the pit lane. A late pit entry for Keegan Thompson, but he'll just miss the attenuator. Same thing. Oh boy, and just barely avoiding the barrels there was Logan Williams. Some of these guys having very late pit entries, but they'll get the job done and keep this race caution-free. Lozano down the pit area. He's going to get hooked. He is get turned around by Ryan Durrani. Is that enough for a yellow flag? It is. Caution has come out here in the middle of pit stops. And Brennan Wilmington, I'm not sure if this is going to help or hurt Wilmington. Oh, he might be trapped a lap down. That might absolutely screw over the 62, or it could be the greatest thing to happen to him as the yellow flag comes out. Caution flag number 1 has flown for the opening time tonight. A couple of drivers staying out here as Alex Lozano, who is having such a good run, was turned in the number 11 machine. We saw it happen live, and we knew that pit stops can be problematic here. And they were certainly problematic, and we are going to have a big scoring nightmare. And we got one car turned sideways as John Andrews. Andrews getting turned sideways in turns 3 and 4. So he will try and make his way back to where he was, and now we're going to have a big time scoring kerfuffle right now. Brennan Wilmington being scored in 25th, 1 lap down. And that could not have come at a worse time for Wilmington, who was just a lap away from getting back on the lead lap. And we're going to have a scoring nightmare here. As I hate it when we get green flag pit stops and then a caution comes out through the cycle. It is just the most annoying thing that you could ask for. We might have a lot of cars off of the lead lap here. We'll go ahead and get the confirmation, but right now, Roberto Crown Jr. being scored as the race leader. And if that is the case, that is a long line of cars in front of the race leader. Brandon Wilmington, the first one behind the pace truck. But we'll see exactly how many cars. We'll see what the scoring will be here, and then we'll go ahead and see what happened to put us under the first caution flag of the night, even though we saw it live. So Alex Lozano getting turned by Ryan Durrani. Durrani was not able to make the save. So I believe the lights will be going out on the pace truck this time by. And they will not extinguish, but we'll see what timing and scoring says here. I believe Wilmington might be on the tail end of the lead lap. So I believe, no, Matt Wolf being scored as the race leader. So Wolf, who is right in front of all these guys. We've got a lot of guys on the tail end of the lead lap, and we got a big mess to try and figure out here. But nonetheless, we'll go ahead and take a look and see what happened to put us under the first caution of the evening here in the Budweiser Propane 400. A couple of cars getting tangled together right as the pit stops were coming on here on the green flag pit stops here at Gateway. So as both Alex Lozano and Ryan Durrani are trying to come down the pit lane, Durrani is going to clip the right rear quarter panel of that FedEx number 11 machine. We saw that happen a lot over these last couple of races here at Gateway. Cars getting tangled up and sideways, trying to go double file into the pits, and Lozano's the only one to go around. But since he backs hard into the outside wall and a couple other drivers were going to be coming down, or staying out, I should say, the game threw the caution flag, and unfortunately for Lozano, that's going to really hurt his chances here of potentially getting in. And Brennan Wilmington coming back to potentially the race lead here. I think he might be on the tail end of the lead lap, though. Nearly ran in the back of the 11 machine, but that is going to jumble this entire race up once again, and it's not what you want to see for a lot of these guys, especially for Wilmington. He might get towards the tail end of the field here, but nonetheless, we'll take another look at this accident and get us back to the restart here midway through what has been a quiet Budweiser Propane 400 so far tonight. One more look at this in real time as you see Lozano getting right reared by the number 86 machine, and nothing you can really do about it there if you're Lozano. Just an unfortunate racing situation there between a couple of drivers, both trying to come down the pit lane, but that's going to shake things up a lot. We'll have to see who will go back to the race lead here, but nonetheless, we'll go back to the restart here of tonight's race, which has been a good one so far. Here we go. And we are back here at the Gateway International Raceway, cleaning up our first caution of the evening, but it is not going to be our last. It's just like we did at Hillside a couple of months ago. With all the cars on the tail end of the lead lap, we are going to throw the green flag. We'll immediately throw the caution. And then right after that, we will rack them back up. And Matt Wolf is the race leader in the 38 machine. So we will throw a caution here momentarily. It's Brennan Wilmington, who right now being scored in 25th. Will be the race leader. We'll throw a caution here right on the restart. So everybody can get back on the lead lap here. Matt Wolf as the race leader. We'll wait for everybody to clear the start-finish line. And the caution has come back out here. A couple of drivers trying to advance their position. We might not have the need for another additional caution here with these guys going 3 wide. Here comes Nathan Stapleton ducking to the inside, trying to get the race lead, coming back to the yellow. But I don't think any drivers that were on the tail end of the lead lap will be put back a lap down, as Matt Wolf will lead them back to the caution flag. Oh, nearly Stapleton getting turned around, and we got a lot of drivers trying to get around here. I'm not sure what Matt Wolf is doing. We got a big stack up back in here. Got a lot of drivers. Yeah, I think all the drivers are just waiting to pass the pace truck. I believe that should cycle everything back out. We still got a couple of drivers waiting towards the back here, but I think that should cycle everything out, so everybody should be still on top, or everybody should be in the correct order where they were. It's the second time we've done that this season, and we're here with just over 20 to go. We're probably going to get a restart with about maybe 21, 22 laps to go here. So I think we might be stuck like this here for the next couple of moments, as Matt Wolf is the race leader in the number 38 machine. You get to see some behind-the-scenes details of how we do some of the stuff here. So we're not going to bother editing that part out. I've edited out the yellow flag coming out here. But Matt Wolf, looking to get his first win in nearly a year. He got to go all the way back to the Trenton Fairgrounds race, where that number 38 machine was able to get the job done. Rather, the driver of the number 38 machine was able to get the job done. He was driving the 42 Delta machine for Full Frontal Motorsports. So I might as well officially go through the field here. You know what? This will be our Through the Field presented by Fram segment of the evening. So Matt Wolf runs in first. Logan Alexander is second. Nathan Stapleton looking for his second win of the season in third. Owen Miles is fourth. Daniel Bouchard rounds out the top 5. Angel Gutierrez is the highest running chase driver on the grid in sixth. Zachary Fitzwater, who right now has the Valvoline fastest pit stop of the night, a 15.14 in the 99, runs in seventh. Danny Fallington is eighth. Alex Sanvitali ninth. And Matthew Hubert right now inside the top 10, booking in the top 10, that 23 machine. Charlie Davenport is 11th. Igor Barreto is 12th. Ryan Durrani runs 13th. Michael Lewis is 14th. Toby Murphy 15th. Alex Lozano, after bringing out the opening caution of the night, runs 16th. Alexander Rose 17th. Bradley Ream 18th. Thomas Troxel 19th. Roberto Crown Jr. runs in 20th. 21st is Cole Sampson. 22nd, Bruno Diacomo. 23rd is Braden Perez. 24th, Dylan Matthews. Finally, we get to Brandon Wilmington all the way back in 25th. And he is thanking his lucky stars he was able to get those 34 bonus points here tonight. 26th is Caleb Rose. 27th is Skylar Taylor. 28th, Reggie Fogelman. 29th, Logan Williams. 30th is Keegan Thompson. 31st is Juan Rodriguez. 32nd, John Andrews. 33rd is Corey Case. 34th is Eric Monaco. 35th, Esteban Lacer. 36th, Carson Miller. 37th is Riley Sampson. 38th, Mitchell Collins. 39th, your championship leader as of right now, Campbell Marsh. 40th, Elijah Gordon. 41st is Dano Georgi. And in the garage area with an engine header failure, Rogel Dorn, last and 42nd here on the pylon. Lights are off on the NR2003 pace truck, the Chevy Silverado pace truck, as I should say. In case you are just tuning in, welcome, of course, back to tonight's coverage of the Budweiser Propane 400 here on the North American Sim Racing Network. My name is Trey Wright. We're going to be 21 laps to go in this race. After an extended caution period with a little bit of a scoring nightmare, but we were able to navigate through those troubled waters. And Matt Wolf, who has ran pretty well so far tonight, that number 38 machine, finds himself in the race lead. But the top story tonight, of course, was Campbell Marsh, but now it's Brennan Wilmington who dominated in the early portions of this race. has led the most laps and has 34 bonus points towards the chase for the Cup. Currently sitting in 25th, still well ahead of Campbell Marsh in the 31. We get set here for a restart for the final 21 lap stint of tonight's race. Everybody came down the pit area that last time by. Fastest lap of the race belonging to John Andrews, a 33.293 second lap. Like we said, Zachary Fitzwater, a 15.14 on the gun for the fastest pit stop of the race. Chevy Silverado pace truck back down the pit area. Wolf, Alexander, Stapleton, Miles, and Bouchard, the top 5. Wolf leads them back to the race's restart zone. Green flag is back out and away. 21 to go here in St. Louis. A really good restart for both of these drivers up in here, but here comes Alexander. He is going to dump some air on the back end of that 38, and here comes the 58. These two have been nose to tail and side by side a couple of different times tonight, and all these drivers are on fresh Hoosiers. Stapleton thinks about making it 3 wide. He's got a ledge to the inside, will not take it. Wolf uses the run on the outside lane as everybody on top of one another here on this restart, and Angel Gutierrez knows it's crunch time. John Andrews down the pit lane in the 7 machine, and Gutierrez has got the inside. Wolf on the outside. Here comes the 58, and a great save out of Alexander. It's Alexander Rowe coming off of the pit lane in the 84, and he is going to create a little bit of traffic for some of these drivers. And Brennan Wilmington has come down the pit lane. He is serving a black flag. So Wilmington, a penalty right off of the restart. And what was looking to be a fantastic race here this evening, going horribly wrong. Owen Miles charging hard on the outside. He's into the outside wall. Wilmington trying to do his best to stay on the lead lap, and he needs a caution to get back in the contest. The way these guys are racing right now, that might not be out of the cards, and Wilmington now behind Campbell Marsh, who has risen up a couple of positions in the 31 machine. Logan Alexander now to the race lead, under 20 laps to go here at Gateway, but here comes Gutierrez. Gutierrez, who was 180 points back, who started this race midway, and now we got one car around. Richie Fogelman around on the back straightaway. We got another one around in the back, and that was exactly what Brennan Wilmington needed. The yellow flag coming out for the 3rd time this evening. We got a couple of cars trying to get down and breathing a huge sigh of relief that he is not completely out of the contest is Brennan Wilmington. We saw the 11 of Alex Lozano go around as well. We're trying to see where he is on the racetrack, and he has got a lot more rear end damage. 3rd yellow flag of the evening here at Gateway, and the back end of this race turning into chaos, much like we saw in Milwaukee. And Logan Alexander looking for his 2nd win of the season, but what a hard charge there from Angel Gutierrez in the 28 machine, and started this race in 21st. He is up to 2nd right now on the pylon. And a late race restart here on the banks of the Mississippi will bring us down to just a handful of laps to go. Nobody coming down the pit lane here, but Brennan Wilmington will be back on the tail end of the field. That's the good news for him, but the bad news is Campbell Marsh moving up to 30th. That is the highest he has been on the grid since the start of the race in 26th. But nobody coming down the pit lane that was not involved in that accident. Logan Alexander, your race leader. We'll go ahead and take a look and see what happened to put us under our 3rd caution of the evening, or 2nd caution for incident, here tonight at the Gateway International Raceway in the Budweiser Propane 400. It's certainly turning into the chaos of the Octane Cup Series Propane 400, that is for sure. So Reggie Fogelman, seeing Michael Lewis and Alex Lozano get together on the outside, try to move underneath the 11, but unfortunately gets turned, and this is right in front of the rest of the field. I believe Lozano was able to keep it off the inside wall somehow. Fogelman, your Pocono winner, back through traffic. Fortunately, did not get hit by anybody else, but you're under caution for the third time tonight here in the Budweiser Propane 400, and cautions breed cautions. These cautions getting a little crazy here, and what we saw from Brandon Wilmington is we'll see right off of the restart here in real time. He went down to the inside of Braden Perez. As you see on your screen, Perez checked up. He went both to the inside of both Dylan Matthews and Braden Perez, and that's what the black flag was for Wilmington, passing to the inside before getting back to the start-finish line, and that is such a gut-wrenching play there for Wilmington. Nothing you could really do, and he was dogged for that. But nonetheless, this caution is going to save him, however. He'll be on the tail end of the field. We'll take another look at this in real time, then get you back to the racing action here at Gateway. Another look at this accident as Alex Lozano has been a pinball for most of the night so far. Nowhere for Reggie Fogelman to go. Somehow, John Andrews didn't T-bone the 3 machine. That's how we've got things rounded up here. Logan Alexander continues to hold serve in the 58 machine. So we will get a restart here with under 20 laps to go here at Gateway. And some huge developments here under the caution flag. Caleb Rose with an early engine expiring will go to the garage area, and that might be the end of his realistic championship aspirations. We got another car coming down the pit lane. Here in Thomas Troxel has got a flat tire in the 00 machine. So that'll be 2 cars coming off of the pit lane, but that'll be 2 more positions that Brandon Wilmington will pick up in the 62. And in case you are just tuning in, it has been a doozy of a contest so far here as we welcome you back to the Gateway International Raceway for this year's coverage of the Budweiser Propane 400. Trey Wright on the call for the North American Sim Racing Network. It'll be a restart with 13 laps to go here in Gateway. We'll wait to see what the official issue was for Caleb Rose. It was a camshaft going awry on the 32. Thomas Troxel with just a flat tire. He will be back here in the running. John Andrews 1 lap down in the 7 machine. Get the race restarted here on lap number 68. But right now, if you watch the first half of this race, took a quick break, and have returned, the race has been completely flipped on its head. Brennan Wilmington getting knocked out of at least potentially getting the win with a penalty right on the restart for going underneath of a driver on the restart. He had to serve the penalty. And Logan Alexander in prime position to get the race win, but he has got a hard-charging, hungry Angel Gutierrez looking for his 2nd win of the season. Matt Wolf running in 3rd, Daniel Bouchard 4th, and Nathan Stapleton rounding out the top 5. All of these drivers besides Wolf have been to victory lane this season so far. We're setting ourselves up for a 13-lap shootout. Alexander, your Nashville winner from earlier on this season, can he hold on for 13 more laps? He's into the race's restart zone. We're back to green flag racing. 13 miles to go here at Gateway. Gutierrez trying to shove it in there. The number 28 machine up the racetrack going. Bouchard nearly got hooked there by the 97. Oh, we got another caution flag coming out right on the restart. Brennan Wilmington getting turned. And Campbell Marsh was involved as well. 4th caution flag of the evening, a wreck right on the restart we had no idea about. 1 car down the inside. That's Bruno Diacomo, who was also involved. And the 2 biggest championship competitors basically taking each other out here right on the restart. We had no idea that was happening. Riley Sampson down the pit lane as well in the 24. I think Marsh might try and stay out in the 31, but that is absolutely the end of the night for Wilmington. And the dominant driver of the evening is going to need a couple of good races at Trenton and New Jersey if he wants to surpass Campbell Marsh. Marsh had a 121-point lead over Wilmington coming into tonight. And Wilmington might chip in a little bit. Braden Perez has also gone to the garage area, so that is within the span of about a single lap here. All three Pacific Racing cars have been knocked out of the race, and that might be the end of the road for both Rose and Perez. Goodness gracious, goodness gracious. Bruno Diacomo also out with a tire problem, as there was a coolant leak for Brennan Wilmington that took him out. And we have got one whale of a wreck to review here at Gateway, right on the restart. But we'll get a restart with less than 10 laps to go. Logan Alexander leads, and gotta go ahead and see what happened. But my, oh my, a bad night going horribly worse for Wilmington. He is knocked out of tonight's contest. So this was right off of the restart, and Mitchell Collins and Campbell Marsh both go into the outside wall. I think they were trying to get around the 24. Riley Sampson had a mechanical issue. And you're going to see Dylan Matthews hook Campbell Marsh down into the inside wall. He goes hard into the pit road attenuator, and he will track back up the racetrack. And nowhere to go for Reggie Fogelman, who was involved in the last accident. Runs right into the back end of the 31, and Brennan Wilmington, wrong place, wrong time, smashes into the rear end of the 3. Alexander Rowe and Thomas Troxel also heavily involved in this incident, and this has just been a chaotic hell of a last couple of laps for Brennan Wilmington, from the caution coming out as he was on the tail end of the lead lap to getting a black flag on the restart, and now he will be knocked out of the race. Good news for him is that Campbell Marsh might be knocked out as well, but two-thirds of the championship leaders right now being taken out in this crash, and this is going to swing the points pendulum really into the favor of a guy like Angel Gutierrez, who I think if he's able to get around the 58 machine, he might be able to take the chase lead going into Trenton next weekend. But nonetheless, we'll get another look at this accident. Following along with Marsh, and yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess they were trying to get around the 24 machine. And yeah, just a lot of hard hits for these guys back in here. That'll absolutely be the end of the evening for Wilmington, probably for both Rowe and Fogelman as well, I would imagine. Dano Georgi was coming down the pit lane there. So a little bit of a chaotic end to this race so far. Logan Alexander continues to lead, but now a grade A chance for Angel Gutierrez to get up in the championship fray here. Nearly was able to get around Alexander coming back to the caution flag. We'll see what these guys will do on the restart here with under 10 laps to go here at Gateway. And we are back here at the Gateway International Raceway, and what was looking to be a calm race has completely flipped upside down. We're under our 4th caution of the evening, and a couple of chase drivers getting knocked out there over these last couple of laps. Looks like Braden Perez is back out on the racetrack, so he is not knocked out of the race. Same cannot be said for Brennan Wilmington, who will finish the race in 39th. Campbell Marsh, with a ton of front-end damage right now, will probably end up finishing in 36th. Logan Alexander with the race lead, but right now Wilmington would get 5 points, so he would get 39 points on the night. And if Marsh were to finish in 36th, he would get 20 points. So Wilmington would cut in maybe by about 10 points with the bonus points that he is acquired here tonight. But irregardless, we have got a race to complete here this evening. Green flag back out and away. 8 laps to go for Logan Alexander. What a jump on the inside for the 96 of Alex Sanvitale. The inside of the lap down car of John Andrews. Do we have another caution in the cards here this evening? Clean restart right off of the gun, and Gutierrez trying to take advantage. He's going to the outside. That's not where you want to go on a flat track like this. Here comes Wolf to the inside. And that's exactly what Logan Alexander wants to see out of his rear view right now, with 7 laps to go as the second and third place cars fighting it out. Gutierrez trying to hold serve on the outside. Wolf with the advantage. Here comes Sanvitale. He had to jump on the brakes. And a caution flag is back out. A big mess in turns 1 and 2. Oh, and we got more cars going around. Carson Miller catching the 31. And Campbell Marsh. I think that might officially be the end of the evening for him. Thomas Troxel destroyed. Eric Monaco is destroyed. And what was looking to be a potential great race here to the end has turned into a complete wreckfest. And we'll see if Marsh is able to repair any of that damage, but it looks like he will officially be finishing in 36th here tonight. Keegan Thompson also caught up. Oh, what a mess. What an utter mess for these drivers. Campbell Marsh has retired from the race. I believe he will indeed finish in 36th. And if you're Angel Gutierrez, this is the best case scenario for you right now. Gonna get this restart with only a handful of laps to go. And we do have the option of a green-white checkered. But Logan Alexander, the race leader. Carson Miller, no fuel in the 8 machine. He will be knocked out. And if you're Brandon Wilmington in the garage area, you are absolutely kicking and screaming right now, with the big one taking out Campbell Marsh and a plethora of other drivers. Well, again, it was looking to be a nice calm end of the race, has just turned completely sideways here, and with 5 laps to go, Logan Alexander looking to hold on for only one more restart potentially. As we clean up our 5th caution of the evening, we'll take another couple looks at it here in the Budweiser Propane 400. So this all got started when Bradley Ream, I believe, had some sort of mechanical issue in the 2 machine. Goes all the way down in turns 1 and 2, comes back up the racetrack, and this is the big one here late in the contest. Takes out 5 cars right at the top end of the speedway. As well, Carson Miller getting turned around the 8 machine off the back and gets railroaded by the 64. Some more drivers getting in, I think. Yeah, this is where Dylan Matthews got involved. Same thing with Campbell Marsh. That'll be the end of the evening for him. Braden Perez is able to get by as Eric Monaco was also caught up in that incident. Doesn't look like anybody is able to keep their wheels from underneath of them here tonight, and a lot of drivers, and a lot of chase drivers in particular, getting involved in some of these incidents late. And the more chase drivers that get knocked out, the more that's going to play into the hands of Angel Gutierrez, who fell back to 3rd, but he's still in position to get a nice top 10 run, top 5 run here tonight. But that'll officially be the end of the evening for Campbell Marsh, Carson Miller potentially, and a couple other drivers on the grid. We'll get another look at it. Another look following Bradley Ream in real time, who had some sort of issue. And essentially LePage's the field as we go up in here. Miller getting turned around in the 8 machine. And Dylan Matthews rear-ending that 8 car. Same thing with Thomas Troxel, and it is just on from there, and quite few more drivers being knocked out of this race. Well, we unfortunately mentioned the Q word earlier on, reviewing that opening caution of the night. I believe that was probably the broadcaster's jinx. But it looks like we're going to get a green-white checkered finish here to end the night. It's Logan Alexander will lead the field back through the race's restart zone with 2 laps to go. If we get another caution after this, that's the end of the race. No more restarts. See what he'll do on the restart here tonight. The final couple of laps of the Budweiser Propane 400. And we welcome you back to the Gateway International Raceway, cleaning up our 5th caution of the evening. And it will be a 2-lap dash to the end to decide the 2025 Budweiser Propane 400 here at Gateway. Logan Alexander has led 16 laps tonight, will lead 17 after this one. Matt Wolf will have 2 miles to try to get around the 58 machine, and if a wreck comes out on this restart, that'll be the end of the race. No more green flag racing. If a caution will come out after this, this will be the race once they get to the green flag. Pace truck down the pit area. Pull them belts tight one more time as we put the sticks high in the air for 2 more laps. And what has been a chaotic finish to the race here in tonight's Budweiser Propane 400. Green flag is out and away. Sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. Can Alexander hold on? Everybody knows that it's the last restart of the race, and they are moving like it is the last restart of the race. Here comes Gutierrez underneath of Wolf. Down the back straightaway, we're still clean and green for the time being as Alexander opening up a 2-car length gap over Wolf. Wolf hoping the caution does not come out here in the next couple of moments. Coming around to take the white flag is Logan Alexander. One more time around, the caution has come out. And did he get the caution flag before the yellow came out? Well, it really wouldn't matter as we got cars coming down the pit lane. The yellow flag coming out here on the final lap, and that will do it. An ugly end to tonight's race. But once again in his career, Logan Alexander will win a race under the caution flag conditions. And if this isn't an omen for the next couple of weeks of racing, I really don't know what will be. But Logan Alexander off of turns 3 and 4 had literally a hell of a race last week at Ricky, and 1 week later, he will come out on top of a wreck fest on the front straightaway for the final time and getting the octane checkered flag for the 2nd time this season. Logan Alexander wins here at Gateway. Angel Gutierrez will get 3rd. Matthew Hubert, who started the race in 40th, will be up to 12th. Alex Lozano, after all of that, will finish in 16th, I believe. Logan Alexander gets the race win here tonight. The entire back end of the race pretty much being run under the caution flag, and goodness gracious, where do we even begin with this race? I'm not even sure, because Gutierrez was 180 back of Marsh, and Marsh ended up finishing in 36th, so that might be enough to give Angel Gutierrez the points lead going into Trenton. I don't know, Corey Case, where did Case finish? 17th. So he'll be ahead of Marsh. Corey might actually get the points lead. It's going to be either Case or Gutierrez that'll get the points lead after this. But Logan Alexander, who just missed out on the chase there, able to get the job done under the caution flag. On here, and he will get the checkered flag for the 2nd time this season. Matt Wolf second as we take a look at the official standings. Logan Alexander gets the job done. Wolf, Gutierrez, Sam Vitale, Bouchard, your top 5. Miles, Fallington, Toby Murphy, Stapleton, and Igor Barreto. First time we've said his name tonight. Round out the top 10. Take a look at all the drivers that failed to finish the race. We had 30 cars still on track, 27 on the lead lap. With these two names down here, Campbell Marsh and Brennan Wilmington. The two big drivers being knocked out of this one. And taking a look at where all the chase drivers finished. We said Gutierrez finishes in 3rd. You got to go down to Matthew Hubert, who finished 12th. Lozano 16th, Case 17th. Esteban Lacer and Bradley Ream 20th and 21st, respectively. Braden Perez was able to climb up to 24th. It was that caution that came out during pit stops. That's what really screwed everything over. Riley Sampson finishes 1 lap down in 29th. Carson Miller 32nd. Marsh 36th. Wilmington 39th. And Rose 41st. That might be the end of... that's not going to be the end of the road for Caleb Rose. This is... With where Wilmington and Marsh finished up, I think this is going to make this chase for the championship a heck of a lot more tighter going into Trenton in a week. But my goodness, gateway to the west, more like the gateway to hell here tonight. That is pretty much what this race was here this evening. But yeah, and after a relatively incident-free race yesterday, and we're going to be, I believe we're coming to this race here in the we're coming to this track in the Loves American Truck Series, I believe. That's going to be very interesting to say the least. But yeah, that's not really what you want here tonight, especially if you're Wilmington, especially if you're Marsh. But if you're Logan Alexander, you will absolutely take it, and that is all that counts. But that's going to do it here from Gateway. Congratulations once again to Logan Alexander for winning a very chaotic Budweiser Propane 400. Definitely putting the Propane 400 in the Budweiser Propane 400. And we'll be back next week for the penultimate race of the season, the NJ Transit 500. Coverage from the Trenton Fairgrounds Raceway starts at noon Eastern on Saturday, October 25th, right here on the NASRN. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings and chase grid after race 34 of the 2025 NBCS season. And from Madison, Illinois, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks. We'll see you next week in Trenton.